My poor boy, he was too good for this earth. God has called him home. I know that he is much better off in heaven, but then we loved him so. It is hard, hard to have him die. Abraham Lincoln on his son Willie's death. Willie Lincoln was the third son of Abraham Lincoln and his wife Mary Todd. He was born on December 21st, 1850 in the family home in Springfield, Illinois. The family was still mourning the recent death of their son, Eddie Lincoln. The Lincolns named their newborn Willie for Dr. William Wallace, the brother-in-law of Mary Todd Lincoln. Wallace had married her sister, Frances. It is believed it was to honor Dr. Wallace, who had cared for Eddie Lincoln during the illness that ultimately claimed the young child's life. Willie developed a close bond with his older brother, Robert, almost 8 years older than Willie. Thomas, affectionately called Tad, would be the only child of Lincoln and Todd to survive and to live a long life. Willie's time in the White House was marked by his joyful presence and his ability to uplift the spirits of his family and staff members alike. He brought laughter and lightness to the often stressful environment, even as the nation faced the challenges of the Civil War. Sometimes he did not enjoy the attention of being a president's son. I wish they wouldn't stare at us so. Wasn't there ever a president who had children? Julia Taft Bain, sometimes a babysitter for Tad and Willie, wrote, Willie Lincoln was the most lovable boy I ever knew, bright, sensible, sweet-tempered, and gentle-mannered. Her brothers were almost constant playmates of the Lincoln boys. Their father, Horatio Nelson Taft Sr., was a U.S. Patent Office examiner and friends of the Lincolns. February 1862, Willie fell gravely ill. He was diagnosed with what was likely typhoid fever, and despite the best efforts of the attending physicians, his condition worsened. On February 20th, 1862, Willie Lincoln passed away. Julia Taft Bain wrote, Mr. and Mrs. Lincoln were plunged into a deep sorrow. Their greatest pride and hope was in their sons. The loss of their beloved son was devastating for both Abraham and Mary Lincoln, and it profoundly affected the president's ability to navigate the challenges of leading a nation at war. His sorrow was evident in the somber atmosphere that enveloped the White House. Mary remained in bed for 3 weeks. Lincoln grew more and more concerned about her. She blamed herself for Willie's death and felt God was punishing her for her vanity. Willie's funeral was held in the East Room on February 24, 1862. Mary and her son, Tad, did not attend the funeral or the burial. Tad was also recovering from typhoid. During the funeral, the casket holding Willie's remains was kept in the green room of the White House. Elizabeth Keckley, Mary's personal dressmaker and confidant, remembered in her autobiography that she saw President Lincoln weeping over the pale, beautiful face of his gifted boy. After the funeral, Willie was interred in Oak Hill Cemetery in Georgetown in the Carroll family vault. William Carroll, a clerk for the Supreme Court, offered the vault to the president for burial until the family could return to Illinois. Following the assassination of Abraham Lincoln in 1865, Willie and Eddie Lincoln's remains were interred next to their father in Oak Ridge Cemetery. Thank you for watching.